criminal justice system is effective in dealing with youth crime.
This podcast has been produced by Abby Roberts,
Anna Welch
and Kaylee Witherington.
We are going to be exploring the current youth justice system and reviewing the effectiveness and the impacts it has on youths. During this podcast, we will be highlighting media's perspective on the youth justice system and how society perceives youth. Questionnaires that have been created by our group will give society's views and public opinions into the youth justice system.
We will be using a case study of a youth offender to provide more details of the youth justice system. Statistics and comparisons will be addressed throughout this podcast, along with audio clips and news headlines. We hope you enjoy.
The criminal justice system is a group of many different agencies working together to ensure that our society is a safe place to live in. Each agency is responsible of a government department. The HM Court Service, which is responsible for the administrations of criminals, and the National Offenders Management Service, which covers prison and probation services. These are both overseen by the Ministry of Justice System and the Ministry of National Offenders Management Service, and accountable for the HM Prison Service, National Probation Service, and community rehabilitation companies. The Crown Prosecution Service, which is responsible for deciding if they believe there is enough sufficient evidence to charge and prosecute the offender, as well as to make the representation to the Magistrates' Court regarding the suitability of bail prior to the individual's hearing.
We decided as a group to create our own survey to ask public opinions from a range of cities including Newcastle, Leeds and Carlisle. This was done to try and conclude the public's overall views of the youth justice system. 13 people were asked to take part in our survey. There were only 11 people that we were able to take opinions from, as 2 of the individuals involved did not know what the youth justice system was. From our findings, we were able to gain an insight on what the small amount of the public's views on the system were.
Our survey said
9 out of 11 people believed that our system does not work effectively and is not fair. 10 out of 11 people believe that the media shows the system in a negative light. However, 6 out of 11 people said if they themselves were in the system and they had committed a crime, they feel that they would be treated fairly. The public's comments on why they believe they would be treated fairly are: I am a white male, I have not committed a crime before, and I am a girl.
2-year-old James Bulger, who disappeared from a shopping precinct at the weekend, was horribly murdered and then dumped on a railway line.
Goody and Yehuda, 1994, suggests media uses the grassroots model to show their own opinions and to cause moral panic throughout the widespread of the community. For example, the James Bulger case was immediately taken over by the media with society's personal opinions explained.
This then can be linked towards the elite engineered model. This ruling causes moral panic for society to divert attention away from the public social issues. Martian Melville 2009 talks about recent crimes such as James Bulger, Stephen Lawrence, Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman. They go on to say how the media with their extensive and detailed accounts led to massive social reactions and concerns from society, which then signalled there is something wrong with the British criminal justice system. Martian Melville 2014 states due to a lot of new media, especially social media, there is a vast influence to society and more people see more crime and violence. However, Burke 2016 highlights that in the minds of the public, young people and crime have always been linked. Burke states the number of young people who are entering the youth justice system as first-time offenders has decreased during the past few years. These findings suggest either fewer young people are being involved in crime or something more unclear is happening. The charity NACRO works with young offenders in prisons and in the community. NACRO's aims between 2015 and 2018 is to reduce crime and prevent reoffending behaviour. They provide a range of support and programmes such as housing, education and employment. This is to support young people to change their lives for the better.
High levels of violence at the capital's largest youth prison. Inspectors say new inmates are forced to join gangs.
The Ministry of Justice 2014 stated that in 2013, young people who committed the highest offences were violence against someone at 21% and theft and handling at 19%, whilst robbery at 4% and breach of statutory order at 5% were the least crimes likely to be committed. This suggests that young people that commit a robbery offence may not always get caught by the police.
Using a government report, we can see that the percentage of youth who have entered the youth justice system has dropped by 11% in the past few years and has dropped 78% since 2004. The percentage of youth within custody has dropped 13% in the past few years and 62% since 2005. The youths who reoffend has also dropped within the past few years, although the 12-month period to reoffend has increased by 36.6%.
The report explains these statistics are reflected on the effectiveness of the youth crime system and keeping youths out of the system. It claims the youths who are reoffending have got more antisocial behaviour behind them and may have a complex need.
Studies from the House of Commons 2015 shows that youths who reoffend may have complex needs and addiction, living concerns such as the area they are from, social issues and mental health issues. In order to try and prevent this, professionals can provide support for the individuals to ensure these key issues are addressed, along with methods and key objectives on why they should not reoffend.
So I received a letter from one of my friends, and in the letter it just explains that obviously the young offenders isn't the easiest place to fit in. He goes on to say through his letter that he's redoing his GCSEs. He does say that he misses home a lot and it's not a place he wants to be, but he's willing to learn from his mistakes and become a better person for himself. He's had a fair trial and he's agreed that he's having lots of support and fair treatment from the professionals he's involved with.
Even though this is just one youth in the system, we can see how the system is working effectively for him, and he is willing to change his approach to life and has agreed himself that the professionals involved are helping him to do this.
Good food, bit of gym and that, come out nice and healthy, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was our phrase, we go in for the MOT.
There's a lot of fighting in jail.
Lennox and Kahn 2012 sets out a number of positive impacts. These include youths will receive screening and assessment to recognise if they have any issues such as mental health, challenging behaviour, disabilities, drug or alcohol abuse and any background issues. Once recognised, the officers can then look into providing them with the appropriate support, professionals and conventions. For example, therapy can be delivered along with sessions for getting through addictions. Being in the justice system and in a young offenders institute can allow youths to be safe from risks when caught in something too deep. Being involved in the system and being provided with the support can rehabilitate youth and give them a chance to have something to look forward to once their conviction's over. Schooling and training is provided as well as healthcare. Also, employment skills and practice skills can be learned. Jobs can also be assigned for youths wanting to work.
I'm a fully qualified paint and decorator because of jail. So I benefited something, but obviously you just need to put it to use, but I don't. I just go back to crime.
Some of the negative impacts we have found from the British Journal of Community Justice 2015 are that young offenders' voices are not being heard as well as they would have liked, and the justice system is currently working on the support to try and make this more effective.
Another issue raised is the young offenders may not have been explained the youth justice system programme and process effectively. This can affect them. According to the Crime and Disorder Act 1998, sponsored by the Ministry of Justice, each individual has a right to know about their own case and outcome. Professionals also need to detail what is expected of the youth, which isn't always done for them.
Blaise explains the importance of prevention and support provided given to youths who are at risk. She goes on to state that there are now nationwide surveillance cameras to pinpoint the worst youth crimes and to undergo assessment of why the youths offend, in the hope that the youths are not wanting to offend because they are at risk of getting caught. The system is always trying to put measures in place in order to keep the community safe, along with the youths. If youths are offending, procedures are being put into place to ensure that they do not reoffend anymore.
Antisocial plans have also been put into place to involve parents and carers of the youths who offend to support their parenting skills along with the youth's rehabilitation process.
Boxer 2015 suggests studies show that youths who are involved with gangs and groups can disrupt the evidence base of the court process for young offenders. For example, evidence disappearing or new evidence becoming available, therefore not allowing the youth justice system to be as effective as possible in the sense of giving punishments and providing support for rehabilitation.
To conclude our podcast, we agree that the youth justice system works effectively. Although when questioned, members of the public, they stated that they didn't think that the youth justice system works effectively. They suggested this was from media's outlook on youth crime and the system. To argue against this factor, research found suggests that the youth justice system is in fact effective. We appreciate your time and thank you very much for listening.